Welcome to today's podcast. Today we're going to talk about what a healthy exit actually looks like and what it is not. Now, this channel is for those of you who are suffering from past trauma, most specifically trauma called Cassandra syndrome, which is a situation where, in this case, the NT wife is in a relationship with an ASD husband. And not that he's a bad guy, of course. I'm sure he's a good person and we respect him, and I know you love him, but he's emotionally unavailable, and that doesn't work for you as the NT spouse in the way of nurturing your soul. So, many women whisper this question like it's dangerous to say out loud. If I leave, will I fall apart? Well, for many neurotypical wives, the idea of leaving isn't dramatic or impulsive. It's quiet, it's heavy, and it's filled with fear, not just of loss, but of collapse. So in today's episode, it's not going to be about convincing you to leave. I don't recommend separation or divorce unless there's, some severe abandonment issues, emotional abuse, physical abuse. So I'm not saying that I would never recommend leaving, but I always view it as just a last resort. So I'm certainly not trying to convince you to leave. It's about what a healthy exit looks like, because many women only see two options: explode and burn everything down, or just endure quietly forever. Well, there's a third path, and it's steadier than either extreme. So before we continue, let's pause for a minute. I'd like for you to take one slow breath in and gently let it out. Okay? You don't need to decide anything today. Understanding is enough for today. So the questions in this episode came from women who said something along the lines of, if I ever leave, I want to do it without destroying myself. Now, if that's you, let's slow this way down. Okay? Question 1, all of these questions have been summarized. What does healthy exit actually mean? Well, a healthy exit is not defined by speed or drama or certainty or anger or proving a point. I would say a healthy exit is defined by internal stability, which means you're leaving from clarity, not panic. You trust your perception and your decision. You're emotionally supported. In other words, you have some outside supports in place, and you're not trying to punish your ASD husband or trying to be rescued in some way. So a healthy exit is not an escape. Let's just view it as a transition. Now, if you expected a healthy exit to feel explosive, let's pause. Steady often feels unfamiliar, but it feels safer. Now, one listener wrote, I'm afraid leaving means I've failed. And here's the next question based on that thought. Does leaving mean I failed or gave up too soon? No. Leaving is not a referendum on your effort. It's not a moral verdict. It's not proof you didn't love enough or that you were a bad wife or that your husband is bad. Leaving simply means I can't stay whole here in this relationship. That's not failure. That's not an indictment against your husband. That's just self-preservation. Now, if some shame shows up here, let's pause. Okay? Shame does often appear when you stop sacrificing yourself. And there's a lot of ladies watching these videos that feel guilty for even thinking about leaving. Okay? Now, many women ask this next question or some version thereof with a certain degree of fear. What if leaving breaks me emotionally? Okay? Well, a healthy exit minimizes breaking by preparing, not fleeing. Breaking usually happens when you leave in crisis, or you're isolated, or you've doubted yourself for too long, or you expect relief instead of grief. A healthy exit includes support before leaving, space to grieve, emotional containment, and realistic expectation. So, leaving hurts, but it doesn't have to destroy you. Now, if fear tightens your chest right now, let's pause. Fear doesn't mean danger. It means importance, quite honestly. One listener asked, how do I know I'm leaving for the right reason? And another version of that same question is, how do I know I'm leaving for clarity, not reactivity? That's a great question. Reactive exits are driven by overwhelm, ultimatums, emotional flooding, the need to escape discomfort. Clear exits are marked by calm resolve, consistent boundaries, reduced self-doubt, and less need to convince anyone. So if you're still trying to prove your pain, you may need more grounding, not more action. Now, if clarity feels quieter than you expected, let's pause. Quiet often signals alignment. Now, several women asked some version of this next question very softly. Can I leave without making him, in this case the ASD husband, the villain? Yes, you can. A healthy exit doesn't require a villain. It requires honesty about limits. You can say, this doesn't work for me. I can't stay emotionally healthy here. Our capacities don't align. So you don't have to demonize someone to tell the truth. Now, if you've been waiting for permission to leave kindly, let's pause. Kindness does not require self-betrayal. Now, one listener asked this next question with a certain amount of grief. What do I grieve when I leave? You grieve more than the marriage. You grieve the future you imagined, the version of yourself who kept hoping, the effort you poured in, the life you thought would unfold. So grief does not mean the choice was wrong. It means the bond mattered. Now, if grief feels heavy, let's pause. Grief is love with nowhere to go yet. Okay? Many women ask this next question with a lot of confusion. What if part of me still loves him? Yeah, I hope that part of you does still love him. Love doesn't obligate endurance, though. You can love someone and still recognize this relationship harms me at some level. Love doesn't negate limits. It doesn't override nervous system safety. It doesn't require self-sabotage. Now, if holding love and leaving feels contradictory, let's pause. Humans hold complexity, not absolutes. Now, one listener asked this next question with a lot of worry. What does life look like after a healthy exit? Often it looks quieter at first, not happier. You may feel relief and grief at the same time. Loneliness without the chaos, though. Fatigue as your nervous system settles into the new normal. Then slowly, self-trust returns, your body relaxes, your inner voice gets louder, you feel more like yourself. Healing unfolds. It doesn't rush. Now, if you expected instant freedom, let's pause. Peace often arrives gradually. There's no rush. Several women ask this next question with a lot of self-doubt. What if I leave and then I regret it? Good question. Regret is not proof of a wrong decision. Regret is a common companion to grief and loss. Healthy exits allow room for mixed feelings, mourning, questioning. That's all normal. You don't judge a decision by the absence of pain. You judge it by whether it preserves your integrity. Now, if you fear regret, let's pause. Fear doesn't mean stay. It means think carefully. Now, this next question came up over and over again. How do I know I'm ready for a healthy exit? Okay. Well, readiness often shows up as less urgency, more self-trust, clearer boundaries, external supports in place, a sense of quiet resolve. So readiness doesn't feel dramatic, but it does feel solid. Okay? Now, if you're contemplating leaving, hear this. A healthy exit is not about proving anything. It's about protecting what remains of you. You don't need permission. You don't need certainty. You don't need to be unemotional. You need honesty and some kind of support. Now, Here's some reflection questions I want you to ponder. What do I imagine a healthy exit would protect in me? What fears come up when I picture leaving calmly instead of reactively? What support would I need to leave without collapsing? What grief feels unacknowledged right now? And what feels clearer after listening to this podcast? Now, no decisions required today. Clarity continues to unfold, okay? Now, in the next episode, we're going to be talking about choosing yourself no matter what you decide. So until then, be gentle with yourself. Leaving doesn't make you cruel. Staying doesn't make you noble. Only self-respect matters. Please like, subscribe, and comment. I read and respond to all comments, and I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you. God bless. Hey, this is Mark, and some of you new to this channel may never have heard of Cassandra syndrome. That, in essence, is a condition where, in many cases, it's the non-autistic wife. By virtue of suffering from emotional deprivation with an ASD husband for so long, she feels like she's not getting her emotional needs met, and she's kind of starving to death in that sense. Your emotional needs are every bit as important to your mental and physical health as water, food, shelter, and so on. So I have a book especially for you. It's called Living in the Shadow, Healing from Cassandra Syndrome in an Autistic Marriage. The link will be in the description area and also pinned in the comment section. If you are a neurotypical wife in a marriage with an ASD level 1 husband, and you feel like you're suffering from Cassandra Syndrome, then there's going to be a link below this video in the description area and also pinned in the comment section that will take you to my Cassandra Syndrome recovery group. We meet 1 hour a week for 4 weeks. I hope to see you in that group.